Hey everybody, long time no see. Seriously, right? My name is Nick. I work here at the lovely Boulder Bookstore, the now closed and very quiet Boulder Book. I mean, not closed, but like we're not open yet. So enjoying this quiet room back here. Yeah, I order books. I'm an office basement person behind the scenes. I order all the old stuff that the important people can't be bothered to order. I'm just kidding. It's not like that. But yeah, I just want to kind of talk about some books because, believe it or not, we all love books. Like, this is the kind of job where you get to thankfully be around the thing you're really passionate about. So I'm really glad to be able to share some of these. This first one in particular, I was actually bummed out because another person here recommended this a while ago, and I wanted to so bad because I love this book. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll never get a chance, but here's my chance. Ducks Newburyport by Lucy Ellman, who is a fantastic just person in general. There aren't a lot of interviews with her, but if you find them, she's terrifying. One of her last books ended with a contract that, like, if the men could sign in and mail to her, saying that they would give all their property over to womankind and like abdicate all power, and in return they would get a certificate from her. She's like really serious about that. But this book, this was I think a finalist for the Booker Prize, winner of the Goldsmiths Prize, which I hadn't known about. Is actually a really awesome kind of experimental literature prize. Good to look into that if you're looking for like some challenging reads. But it's pretty much all one sentence, and with some exceptions, but the vast majority of it is one sentence, and that sentence is the interior thoughts of just a woman in Ohio, a mother of several children in a family, sort of a former professorial type, but now all she does is she runs a baking business. And it's really just her thoughts as she just bakes, kind of laments the state of the country, questions her relationship with her own family versus coping with the death of her mother and the relationships she had with those before her. That might not sound like a compelling plot or anything, but what it is it's an experience. I would compare this most to something like, an art installation or something like that, where you're going in to have a fundamental internal experience. I've never seen anything capture the flow of human consciousness this precisely, while simultaneously, just sort of by virtue of doing that accurately, capturing this moment in history. And the prose is fantastic, while not overstated. It's very straightforward. There's no fancy vocabulary going on. It is a human's thoughts. And there was an intense beauty to that. I'm from the Midwest, and I rejected a lot of that when I left. It always seemed so boring, all of the Mayo and Crisco and PTA and stuff like that. And I found myself sort of regaining empathy for my roots by, like, this book, making me really feel the humanity of it. It's a hugely empathy-inducing, singular and very innovative book, and I recommend it highly for all that. And now let's take it down a notch with some manga! For all my nerds out there, this is Dead Dead Demons, Dead Destruction. Fun title. By Inio Asano, who is most famous, in addition for doing some sad, like, teenagers dating on a beach books, for his Knock Out of the Park series, Goodnight Pun Pun, which is about a chicken just suffering immensely. Like, not a real chicken, he's just like a little boy, but he's a chicken, and then it's just his whole messed up life. And I swear it's a tragedy to rival Shakespeare, like, just so sad and beautiful. And this is kind of a different thing from him. It's a bunch of kids living in Tokyo after aliens showed up. The relationship with the aliens is odd. They don't come out very often. Most people haven't seen them. They just sort of have this ship hovering there. And it's just, the state of their lives as they deal with this and slowly become entangled with some of the aliens who might be hopping around the city and, the international situation. And it's like, a slice of life mashed with sci-fi. It's very much just sort of like middle school dynamics and people, studying to get into prep schools or whatever, but then at the same time, time travel. And it's a slow burn, definitely, like, kind of puts you into one zone and then slowly and kind of exponentially increases the tension and climactic atmosphere. And what can I say? Inio Asano is really great at what he does. I think this is a fantastic series to rival a lot of his best work. So, and this is one that I've been reading for a while now. I'm very, it's terrifying, and I'm still stoked on it because this is essential information, I think, for anyone living in our modern society. The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshana Zuboff. Really just a hugely, fantastically detailed takedown of the fact that most of the modern conveniences that we're enjoying through, apps, Google, increased biometrics and telemetry, the advent of smart cities and smart homes, how the convenience of that and the cheapness of that comes at the cost of, not only privacy, but our ability to determine our own futures. Because as she lays out very, very, very plainly and very well in this, all of the information that we provide through our use of these products is then, sold to advertising purposes and predictive purposes that eventually come back and bite us in the forms of such things as, we saw the way that Facebook advertising was used very insidiously to influence the election a few years back. And, if you see that that kind of influence can be done with the use of the demographics that are gained from the sort of information that we feed through our just use of Google and things like that, then imagine what corporate interests are using it for, and how that can change basically, our exertion of free will in our own lives in the future. It's getting worse and worse. And it's a question of how much convenience you want and what you really want to pay for that. It's easy to let things get chipped away when it's pleasant for us in the short run, but in the long run, it could be very, very, very bad, and is already starting to kind of show that. So if you want to kind of understand what's at stake and determine whether or not finding out what good restaurants are near you comes at a higher price or whatever, this is a fantastic thing to read. The implications are huge for all of us. Dark Matter, an anthology of science fiction by African American writers. What can I say? There's a lot of great stuff in here. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, so I've been a fan of a lot of these people for a long time. And so when I found out about this anthology, I was all in. And just great stuff. People who you wouldn't even expect to have written science fiction. I was shocked a while ago when I read a sci-fi anthology to find a W.E.B. Du Bois story in there. And I'm like, wow, yeah, he wrote a little straight up sci-fi. And so you got Amiri Baraka in there and stuff like that, the famed poet who actually did a great sci-fi collaboration with the Sun Ra Orchestra. That you can find a recording of that play out there. It's great. Just fantastic stories. Some very short, some longer. People like Sam Chip Delaney, author of Dahlgren. Just a great selection. Go for it. And this one stunned me. I did not see me loving this book coming at all, but I did. I picked this up the other day because I was actually going to get it out of the store, but now I want you to buy it. Nancy is back. Yes, right. The comic strip Nancy, which has been going since, maybe the mid-20s when it first came out, when it was following Aunt Fritzy, has long been terrible. I don't know how you feel. I was not a fan of Nancy, and I read everything. I obsessively read Beetle Bailey and Hagar the Horrible, and I didn't like Nancy very much. But it's being done by a new author now. It got kind of handed off to a few people in the past as progressive authors died or retired. And this time, for the first time in Nancy's history, it's being done by a woman. And a woman with a fantastic comedic sensibility. A lot of meta stuff going on. I don't know. It's just a very updated, fantastic sense of humor. Nancy is an insufferable narcissist in this, who basically lives for like ice cream and laziness. And it's just a good take on that. I identify with a lot of these. I almost bought a print of one a minute ago because I was like, yes, that's me. So if you want to experience the revolution that is Nancy being funny for the first time in 100 years, get on it, because this is just laugh out loud. Really good stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope somebody finds something that they like or could use out of this, and I just want to thank everybody for supporting the store. From the bottom of my heart, seriously. This is all so scary and confusing, and a lot of people and a lot of businesses aren't doing great, but the show of support that we've had and the enthusiastic understanding that we've been getting from people, because our whole business is an upheaval, not just as a store, but as an industry of books. And so, I'm learning new skills on the fly and trying to find ways to improvise on situations that we really didn't see coming. And you all have been really supportive and understanding about that, and it just blows me away. And I'm very happy, because books are a wonderful thing. They bring us all together and make us better, and you all understand that. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice day.